Happy Friday, everybody. Here's another newsletter for you. And I have a lot, so I'm going to maybe talk a little bit fast, but it's video form, so you can just go back and watch it. So let's talk academics in the classroom. I've had tons of questions and lots of parent conversations. If I haven't had a phone call with you about academics, then just know that everything is working swimmingly in here. Your kiddos are on target. Guided reading is going so well. I don't think that I've ever had a classroom in kindergarten, 5 and 6 year olds, do guided reading and pick up those stations and independent work as quickly as your students have. So I really need you to be giving them lots of praise at home that they are working so hard in school. They really are working hard and smart. So sometimes you'll see your student come home with a book that we've read in guided reading, and that's just because we have some of the older guided reading books. We have sets of 5 and 6, sometimes 7 books. So when I'm reading with your child's small group at that level that they're at, we're working on a skill, and then I'll ask them, do you want to take this home? They did such good work on that I'll say, do you want to read this to somebody at home? Like, it's so exciting to be able to read our own books instead of someone to have to read to us. Both of those are okay at home. It's still really important to be reading with your student every night, and that can be the books that they bring home, or they're starting to recognize some books. So if you go to the library, they don't really have guided reading books there at the library like we have the font. You can ask them, do you have any Fountas and Pinnell or guided reading leveled A through Z? But libraries usually don't carry those. They usually carry like I think step 1 or reading step 1, step 2, something like that. But the easy readers, they could probably pick those up. A lot of those might be first grade level, but they're starting to recognize sight words, and they're learning how to lock those in their heart. Like, we write it, we watch the video of what word it is, and then we practice it. We can choose whatever we want to build it, write it, do it at least 3 times, and then close our eyes and try and remember what that word is so we can lock it in our heart. Yesterday we learned the word play. See if they can do that this morning. So reading on target. We are good to go. I think the engagement has really picked up here too. They're not so scared of books, Science is going so good. We're decomposing a pumpkin in the classroom. Pumpkin Jack's lid just fell in today, so I'm excited to show them that. They're going to journal on day 14 what he looks like, and it's a fun process. We'll watch him decompose and then grow some sprouts in the spring, but don't tell them, they're learning about life cycles and things like that. That science unit will end after our field trip on Friday. It's a Friday. Oh my goodness, 1 week from today. And we have so many chaperones for that. Make sure if you're chaperoning that you have filled out the district form. They want to make sure that all those background checks are done before any volunteer spends time around our WAKI students. So get that done. I have to send in a list to admin so that they can approve that your form was approved. But yeah, we have like 12, 13, 14 parents coming with us. So remember, chaperoning, I know it said in the letter, but please remember that all siblings of your kindergartner, find other daycare or alternatives for them for that day, because we want it to just be about the kindergarten science learning. We'll do some writing when we get back on the next few days, and that's when we start personal narratives. True story about something you did, saw, or something you did or saw. And then we'll start adding in those feeling words into our writing. So writing is next on my list, and man, oh my goodness, they are picking it up so fast. I've had a lot of questions about what do I do to support my student with writing at home. Here's what you can do. Just sit side by side with them. Ask them if they can stretch out a word. If they want to write about their dog, let's write, I have a pet. We always put the first sound here, p-et. And your students are picking up their letter sounds. A lot of them are already there. Our goal in the whole classroom was that everybody knew their letter sounds by the end of October. So we're getting there. Let's see. Oh, math. I've had so many questions about math. And what are these little papers that come home? They're called home links. So let me tell you a quick EDM. So EDM is very spiraled. One day we might be learning how to sort things by shape, by color, by size. And the next day we'll maybe revisit that, see if they can do it independently. But then the next day, we're writing numbers. So we build on their skills for all of the I think we have 10 that we report out on, but there's also time and coins, money. You know, do they know a penny, nickel, dime? We have 9 sections of EDM where they kind of concentrate on a unit of study. So those home links kind of tell you what we did in school and how you can help that at home. They're designed to be, those home links are designed to be like quick. Like you don't have to sit there and do a worksheet with your kiddo, but maybe you're doing something in the car as you're driving and they're talking, you know. But read those. Yeah, I'm trying to send them home. I think I've sent 2. It's a lot of paper. And in Waukee, we're trying to cut down on paper. We've really been, you know, trying to save those trees and do a lot more electronics since we have technology at our dispense. So that then leads me into Seesaw. I know I talked about Seesaw last time. Thank you all for logging in and commenting on your kiddos. Sometimes they have a little extra free time and they can listen to your comments. I taught them how to do that, like a couple weeks ago, but they might have remembered how to leave a comment back to you. So they really love that praise that you give them. But Seesaw, it's designed also, same with EDM. We're just quick dipping. By the end of EDM, we're really going deep into some of those content areas. You know, can they subotize? It's a skill I never learned as a child. You know, subotize, see the dots on the dice and know quickly that's a 6, you know, and they get those really quick. But subitizing can also be like a group of apples sitting on the table. Can they quickly see that there are 5 there, or do they still have to count them? Both are skills that they need. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's called one-to-one correspondence, and we need to make sure that they can do that all the way up to 20 by the time they get to 1st grade. It's a real, you think your child can do it, but check. Lay out 20 things, see if they know how to count those. 1, 2, 3. Those tricky teens are so hard. We work on those all year long. But then also with lost my train of thought there, but with EDM, very spiraled. So we're quick dipping into everything. We touch on a subject, we go to the next subject, we go to the next subject. And so we're building their schema when we really do go deep into those standards for math. So, but then going back to Seesaw, you're not gonna see every single thing come through on Seesaw. It might be that like yesterday, we went on a scavenger hunt to find numbers, and that built their engagement for numbers. Oh, we see them everywhere in our world, but there was no Seesaw thing. They were actually writing them. So you're just going to see little quick dips in Seesaw. You're going to see little quick dips with the home link, but know that we're touching on every single standard there in math. So yeah, going back to writing, I started to talk about what can I do at home, just sitting beside them and then stretching those words out. But also, if you know it's a word, like I always use the word house because it always pops to my mind, because I remember that one when a district admin came in and they were sitting beside them and they didn't know, like, should I tell them how to spell the word house? Well, right now your kindergartner is learning how to be independent with writing, and that means stretching words out on their own. So when you see a word like house, or you want to write my house is cool, you know, in their writing, so they might come to that word house and they hear house, and we're really good at getting that beginning sound now. Woo woo, we got that. And if I see that in their writing, just the beginning sound, I'm like giving them tons of praise, especially if they're still learning their letter sounds. But if they're really stretching those out, they might hear the O, they might hear the W, and they might hear the S, the W, house. But if you're sitting side by side with them, let them stretch it and then say, oh, that's a word I have locked in my heart a long time ago. Can I show it to you? And then you write the word house the way it should be, House. And then some kiddos will pick that up and lock it in their heart too. But that's where we're at. By 2nd grade, they start to take spelling tests and dip into that just a little bit. So they start to switch from the sounding out, but is it in my heart? Do I remember that word? Have I written it a couple of times? So those are things that you can do. Okay, the last thing I have on my list is winter gear. So let me tell you quick about Schuler's expectations. It's really a Waukee expectation. So when it snows, good time to talk about this because we got down below freezing today, and I brought my winter coat, I brought my scarf, I brought my mittens, I brought my hat, and I also have my snow pants. So I'm going to teach them how to do that and how to switch out their shoes and their boots. But it is an expectation that when there's snow on the ground, students need their snow pants and their winter boots. Otherwise, they stay on the blacktop area. If they have those things, if they have those two things, they can go anywhere on the playground. But if they don't have their winter gear, snow pants and boots, then they just stay on the blacktop when it's recess time. We go outside in Waukee, we go outside, and it's a state requirement that all students go outside if the temperature is above 5 degrees. So if it is 5 degrees or below, and that's wind chill, the feels like temp, then we have indoor recess, and we stay inside. So I wanted to let you guys all know, mark everything with your child's name so that if it's found on the floor, which it will, we know exactly who it is, and we can stick it in their bag. I always tell parents, bring a separate bag. So you've got your backpack with the regular stuff in it. The winter gear just really doesn't fit in the backpacks, especially when they bring their towels home on Fridays to wash and then bring back on Mondays. So there's 2 of the 5 days that you have school. So bring it. I used a regular bag, but it needs to have handles because they're going to carry this. It's best if they have like a cloth, like grocery bag, or if you just want to buy a separate bag for their winter gear. But all those items, the scarves and the mittens, get lost so often. Bring those in a separate bag. They'll fit in the locker. We have a place where they hang their snow pants. We have a place where we put their winter boots, so those aren't getting all yucky and gross in the lockers. What was I going to say? Practice this at home. Practice putting all this stuff on and practice taking it all off and how to like reach into the coat and pull those sleeves out. That's been the trickiest part so far. I can zip up all 22 zippers if I need to, but yeah, it's best if you practice at home. It just gets them more independent. They love it when they're the first in line. You know, I got all my stuff on, I'm ready to go. But 9 times out of 10, I'm asking your student to please, if your parents brought those things for you today, please put them on. And they're like, oh, I'm hot, I don't want to do it. It's nice and toasty warm in our classroom, but I always remind them when they're heading out the door, it's a different story and you're gonna freeze. I think 5 kiddos came running back inside yesterday and was like, oh, you were right, it's cold. And they put on that jacket. I like those natural consequences of like, I'm telling you, put that jacket on. Mom sent you and that dad wants you to wearing these. And 5 of them came running back inside right away. And they were like, you were right. So from here on out, I'm going to be telling them, if you bring it, we're wearing it. It's better to be warm than cold when we're outside. And our Schuler playground, especially our walk there, we have the longest walk to the playground. That parking lot and the sidewalk that we walk on, it's like a wind tunnel. So it is always at least 2 to 3 degrees colder just from that wind. I don't know how this is designed, the way the hill is. It's a wind tunnel. It blows us. So it's really cold. But then the last thing is for winter gear. We're starting to hit that time where we're going to need to be bringing those almost every day. If your student is a bus student, they may not like it, but they have to wear those things to the bus. It's a school rule. And they always say, oh, Mrs. Rose, make me put all that stuff on. So that's another reason to practice those things. But I'd rather have them on their body than in their bag because things get left on the bus. And when they're lost on the bus, that's way harder for me to track down. The school and the bus, we talk, but not great. If it's lost at school, it's either going to go in our lost and found and we can quick check, or if it's lost in the hallway or at recess, it's going to go in the big lost and found. And that thing gets piled up. It's already massive down there. So I'm constantly asking your kids when we walk by for lunch or the big bathroom break, check, look, did you lose something? You know, some kids get that confused with, oh, I can go shopping now. I see some really pretty pink gloves. I want those. No, we gotta teach them what a lost and found is. So it's great if you can use those words and tell them, hey, if you've lost something, ask Mrs. Rove. You can go to the big lost and found. But if your child is parent pickup, so they don't ride the bus, but they're walking home, it is another school rule that we do have them wear that stuff. So if it's like 20 degrees or below, that winter gear is going to go on. Now, here's the caveat to that. I need a quick email from you. If you are great with your parent pickup, you're in that parent pickup line and your kiddo has to jump in the car and get in their car seat or their booster seat, and that seatbelt just doesn't fit over all that good. We look like the Marshmallow Man with that stuff. So send me a quick email to just say, my kiddo's doing great with them jumping in the car at parent pickup. Can we please just carry the winter gear? And then I'll make a list of those kiddos that are parent pickup. But if they're walking home, like I know a few of our kiddos take their bike, or they walk home with their siblings, or they're just walking home with their Gizmo watch, I got to bundle them up. Even if you're just like across the sidewalk, you live right there, I still got to bundle them up. It's a school rule. So it's that time of year. It's not my favorite. I wish I could move to Arizona, but here we are in Iowa. So if you guys have any questions about academics, conferences are right around the corner. I'm actually building the schedule. I think it's about a week and a half away, where I send the email home to you guys to sign up for a slot to come in. So we'll talk more about conferences in the next video. See you guys later.